Hey guys, Carter Andrews here. Today's video I'm going to be explaining to you how I started my sawmill business at 15, and hopefully I can inspire you guys to start your business. So I started my business in the fall of 2020. I was 15. This is the sawmill here that I started with. It was my dad's and my uncle's, and this is Dad's property here. I started back in the bush. Me and Dad would go and cut the trees down every weekend, and I would saw during the week after school. I believe I was in grade 8 if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that. But anyways, that's kind of where it all started. So I know it's not much to look at, but this is where we started sawing here. Just kind of like a little field. So right here is where I had the sawmill set up, and you can't see it, but there is a little bit of sawdust there. But I would saw here, all the slabs were piled up beside me, and we cut back in the bush back there, and we'd bring the logs out, we'd pile them here, I would cut them up, and yeah, this is where it all started from. We had an old Massey Ferguson tractor that is like kind of the family's. It's not mine. It's my dad's and his two brothers, and they would let me use it. I just wanted to mention that from 2020 to 2022, everything here was pretty slow, kind of boring. But once you get to 2023, a lot more happened, and it's a lot more interesting. Also, if you want to check out our Instagram, you can see when I posted these pictures in the past and maybe get a better feel for everything that happened if you're interested. So in the fall of 2020, when I was sawing back in the bush, like I just showed you, Dad wanted to put up this building. And I said to him, I'm like, what's the point in putting up this building if I'm not going to continue sawing? Because I didn't know if I liked it yet. I was just starting out. And he said, either way, he was going to use it. So I'm pretty glad that he did end up building it. But as you can see here, from this post backwards, that's the building. This addition here is the new spot, and I'll talk about it a little later on. But you can come in here and I'll show you. So the sawmill, the old sawmill, not the new one. That's the new sawmill there that I've bought, and I'll touch base on that. But sawmill would go here, the logs would come in, lumber there, and then where the sawmill is right now, we were able to store lumber and let it dry. And so then in 2021, in the spring, I saw it. I had a little custom order I had to do. It wouldn't have even sawed 5,000 board feet that spring. That summer, then I worked at BEI, where I still work today, a construction company. And that fall, then I saw it again, about 5,000 board feet here. And it was all of our own logs sourced from the bush. I didn't have any employees or anything. It was just me and my girlfriend. And yeah, we made it work. It was a good learning experience for sure. At the end of 2021 is when I made my first big purchase, and that was the sawmill right here that this is our main source of income right here. But anyways, I was 16, and I kept telling Dad that I was going to buy my own sawmill, and Dad just thought I was crazy, and he's like, you got a perfectly good sawmill here that you can use. But the only issue that I was kind of having is it was my dad's and my uncle's. You know, I wanted something of my own, and I wanted to have the convenience of having your own machine. Like my uncle would need the sawmill here and there, and I wanted something of my own. But anyways, I was at a store one day, and I was waiting in line at the gas station. And anyways, I turned around and I was just looking at the posters on the door, and here it was, this sawmill, real good price locally here. So I took a picture of it, I called the guy, and I had it bought within probably 3 hours of seeing that. But it had, if you come here, you can see when I bought it, it had 1,251 hours on it, and now we have 3,459. 2022, that's when I started buying logs, and we did about 30 to 40,000 board feet that spring. I realized that there was a lot more work to it when I was doing higher volumes, so I did end up hiring a guy. I went to school with him. I just wanted to mention that Jack started with me in the spring of 2022 as well, and he still works with me today. And I also wanted to mention that I really enjoyed the lumber, but I also wanted to start into the firewood too. So I bought a firewood processor in August of 2022, and I bought a tandem load of logs, cut it up, realized I could not sell the firewood, and I sold the processor about 2 months after. So fall 2022, I did a co-op. I was still in high school. I did a co-op. I guess I'd have been 17 at the time. Did a co-op at a construction company. Anyways, at the construction company, the one guy, I sold my processor. I wanted to buy his backhoe. He kind of talked me into it. But anyways, that didn't happen. I just sold my firewood processor, and that was it. But I bought this fuel cell from him. Fuel cell and toolbox. And I had an old Chevy Colorado, just a small one. So I wasn't able to put the box in the proper way like this. I had to put it sideways. And I kind of got made fun of for it, but anyways. So 2023 was kind of where things really started to take off. Lots of stuff happened. Dad bought the skid steer. I bought my Cat 309. It was brand new at the time. I thought Corbin started working for me then. He said it was 2022. I don't really remember. But Corbin's also another key worker that I have here. And he's also my cousin. But anyways, I don't know if he started 2022, 2023. Doesn't matter. It was one or the other. He's been around a long time. And that spring we sawed, it was about 45,000 board feet. And I had bought all the logs. In 2023, another thing that happened is I bought this edger. And I didn't even really know I bought it. It was that spring I called the guy and I just said, hey, whatever, I got your number. I'm interested in this edger, told him kind of what I wanted, and everything was good. I just asked when it would be ready, you know, like if I did go ahead with it. He said August, good. And we were away on a trip, on a family trip, and the guy called me and he said, hey, your edger's ready to go. And I said to Dad, I'm like, well, I guess I just bought an edger, and I didn't even know it. And another thing that happened was I was working construction in the summertime at BEI, and that was my first time I had employees run the sawmill while I was actually away at work. And it was definitely a big learning experience because who I had working here, they bent the arm on the sawmill and it put everything out of alignment, and it still has, it's fixed now, but it was a problem for a couple of years. So the start of 2024 is when I bought this sawmill. I bought my uncle out, and me and Dad still own it 50-50. But I remember too, I would always bug my uncle to see if I could buy it, and he never wanted to, and then finally he did give in. But as you can see here, this is a brand new motor I had to throw on, and it needed a bunch of other parts like the up and down motors and the blade guide motor and whatever. Lots of new parts on it. But 2024 was a big year. So I bought this in January. We also put up this tarp shed. So the tarp shed's a 30 by 50. And the reason why I wanted to put it up was because we were doing a way bigger volume. That year, I ordered 120,000 board feet of logs in January. So I knew it was going to be a big year. I wanted to get set up for it. As you can see, I put my lumber piles in here. I let it dry. And I knew that if I put my lumber piles outside, you can see behind you actually, is how they start to gray. And people don't like that. So in here it stays a nice white color. But anyways, so bought the tarp shed, put it up, And I also forgot to mention in the last clip, 2023, when I bought the excavator, I also went and got my septic license. I wanted to do excavation, do this. Anyways, the excavation really didn't work out that well for me, but it is what it is. And I did some jobs then as well. I did a septic, and anyways. So we put up the shed. I bought that sea can. That summer, or that spring, I think the max, there was 7 of us working here. It was 6 or 7. It was busy. I went through a couple different employees, and that summer I bought, it was roughly about 70,000 board feet of cedar, something like that. That summer I started wholesaling as well. That was a big thing that really helped with the cash flow. It allowed me to keep things moving. I bought my flat deck trailer too, that you've probably seen in my other videos. Another thing in 2024, I put up this building. So I did an addition onto the old one, obviously. Stating the obvious, but anyways, we put it up. We did, Corbin sawed all the 8x8s, Corbin and Jack, and Carmody started last summer. She's Corbin's sister, and Jack, Corbin, Carmody, they're the main people that have gotten us to where we are, 100%. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we're at. But anyways, we put up another 30 by 40 building, and I don't know if you've noticed, but you can see this metal beam here. And the reason for that is because I wanted to have a bigger opening here compared to the other building. It's smaller. But anyways, I have this building designed, and I don't have it yet, but I want to put a LT70 here and do like an assembly line. And I kind of have it all designed and planned out from, I watch a guy, Drake's American Dream it's called, and he's kind of inspired me along the way to kind of do what I'm doing. But anyways, that's basically everything that happened in 2024, and at the end of the year we were just over 200,000 board feet. So now in 2025, here we are. We started with about 200,000 board feet of logs. And we put all of our pine logs over there. Anyways, there's none there. But you can see all of our pine lumber here. And we have sold a lot. Like, it has been a crazy year. Between wholesaling, retail, it's been awesome. And like I said, if it wasn't for those main 3, Jack, Corbin, and Carmody, we wouldn't be where we're at. But you can see all of our pine here, all the lumber, and then all of our cedar logs. And there isn't that much left. Like, Corbin is plowing through the logs. It's awesome to see. But I suspect he'll be done all of the logs that we have in stock here, and won't even be another month. He'll be looking for work. So, which is okay, because I've had a lot of logs here throughout the last 2 years. And you know, it's a lot to sit on, a lot of money to sit on. So I'm glad that we're getting through the logs, getting lumber out the door. I'm finally recouping some of that cash that I've invested. And another thing I'd like to mention is, like, I've invested every penny that I've made back into this business. That's why I think it's succeeding too. Mostly the help, but also investing every penny into it. And one more thing too that I didn't mention is, you're always having to buy gravel just to keep up with the maintenance, redoing this road all the time, doing the yard there. Like, there's so much work that goes into a sawmill that people won't even realize. But anyways, this here, just to give people an idea, a cheap way to have a culvert, we just threw in a bunch of slabs here, put this A-gravel on top, and it's actually surprising how well this ditch works. It runs right through, and then the water gets away. Because this past spring, like this road, it was like you had to mud bog to get into the sawmill. So I bought some gravel, redid it, and it's doing pretty good. And thanks to my buddy Jeremy. But another thing we did this spring was we made these signs, and that was a pretty proud moment for us to be able to put these up. We have this one here, and then I have another big sign up at the end of the road with a big arrow. And yeah, that was a proud moment for us. But anyways, like I said, I'm Carter Andrews. I haven't really introduced myself, and my girlfriend Ashley is recording, and this is our business. It's we've really grown, and I'm excited to see what happens in the next 5 years. Anyways, thanks for watching.